Thank you, Dr. Lewis, and good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a tremendous honor to have the privilege of introducing the 2013 class of inductees into the Pearl River Community College Lifetime Achievement Hall of Fame. Their impact and service to our local, state, regional, and in some cases, worldwide communities are everlasting. We are grateful and proud of the representation of Pearl River Community College. We will begin tonight with our first inductee, Mr. L.D. Brinkman. A successful businessman, L.D. Brinkman has been an accomplished entrepreneur and is an embodiment of the American dream. Mr. Brinkman's relationship started with Pearl River Community College when he followed legendary coach Dobie Holden from Pascagoula to Pearl River to manage the 1948 and 1949 football teams. It was this relationship that helped lay a strong foundation for Brinkman's success. I quote, "Coach Holden would not accept anything less than the top performance. He taught me to do things right, preferably the first time. This was a principle that I carried into my business life, and I believe it has been one of the keys to my success." After graduating from Pearl River, Brink briefly attended Mississippi State University until his National Guard unit was called up for active duty in the Korean War. After being released from active duty, he graduated from the University of Southern Mississippi. In 1960, he founded L.D. Brinkman and Company in Dallas, Texas. It grew to become the largest floor covering distributor in the United States. In 1978, he purchased Mr. Gatti's, a small pizza franchise in Austin, Texas. He later sold Mr. Gatti's in 2004. During his ownership, it grew to 350 pizza locations across the South Central region of the United States. Beginning in the 1960s, and for some 30 years, Mr. Brinkman owned and operated a large Brangus cattle operation and was recognized as one of the top breeders in the world. His biography says he was also one of the original investors in Home Depot. In the 1960s, Mr. Brinkman began collecting art, focusing on Western art. His love of the art came from his mother. Through the L.D. Brinkman Foundation, he has made his collection available for viewing by the public at his office in Kerrville, Texas, where he lives with his wife, Kathleen. Brinkman founded the River Hill Country Club with a golf course designed by Byron Nelson and Joe Finger in Kerrville, Texas in 1971. He has been active in numerous professional, civic, and charitable organizations, including the USM Foundation, and was named Kerr County Outstanding Citizen of the Year in 1983. Today, Mr. Brinkman splits time in his home in Kerrville, a home in Cabo, Mexico, and a home in the Lake of the Woods area of Canada, just north of Minnesota. Brink's family includes his daughter Pamela, son Don Jr., a stepson, and 6 grandchildren. Ladies and gentlemen, our first honoree, Mr. L.D. Brinkman.
Hi, Mr. Brinkman. My name is Chastity Polk. I'm with the Honors Institute at Pearl River Community College. Can you tell me a little bit about your time at Pearl River?
I came right out of high school in Pascagoula and came to Pearl River. I didn't know anything about community colleges at that time because Perkinston is really in our area where I grew up. But since Dobie Holden came to Pearl River, I knew pretty soon what it was because he offered me an opportunity to come up there, and I had no plans to go to college. I couldn't afford to. So I went up there and spent 2 great years there. And there was really not anything that is particular, but it's just the everyday life there. Nobody had a car the first year I was there, so nobody felt better than the other one. It just was a great atmosphere that helped me probably balance myself, because there's so many places you are that you got to be this or do that or something. But anyway, I loved the 2 years there, and I think it had the greatest influence on me of any of my education.
Do you have any favorite memories?
That association with Dobie Holden, who I spent 4 years with in Pascagoula, and then I had 2 years there with him, and he was just the idol of my life. He was tough, but fair. At the time, sometimes you didn't think he was fair, but he was.
What was your career like once you graduated college?
Well, I didn't know that I had one. I still hadn't really decided. I was thinking about accounting and so forth, but I really didn't have any real plans. The career really didn't start till after I went in the service, National Guard, 31st Division, and came back and finished at Mississippi Southern. And I had an opportunity to interview with Armstrong Cork Company, the floor covering people, and I was chosen to come to work for them. And I was out of school about almost a year, and I hadn't found a job except I was selling insurance on the side, but I hadn't found a job. And I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew that I put forth all the effort that anybody could to make it work, what I was going to do. So that's what I did, and I learned in a hurry what the floor covering business was about. And so that's how I ended up working for them, and then working for a couple of distributors of Armstrong. And then I ended up going in business for myself with a competitive line called Congolium.
With your success, what would you say your opinion is on community colleges as a whole?
Well, I think community colleges are the greatest asset Mississippi has. I'm not sure they realize it over here, because this gives kids like myself an opportunity to go to college and also to find themselves, to find a career or what their future's all about. And I don't think that was at the time back in 60 years ago. I don't know that the other states had anything like this. Mississippi's always been knocked for education, but I think they're totally wrong, because just think of how many kids went to community colleges, and that was established a long time ago. Somebody had some great foresight.
Looking back on your career from when you finally decided what you're doing until now, what would be your greatest achievement?
Building my floor covering business, probably, which we were the largest distributor of floor covering in the United States. And I think that probably would be the outstanding part of my career. And doing something, proving on the way it was done. And we started out with central distribution centers like before Walmart did, where they keep it all in the warehouse and then truck it to the stores. We trucked it to our customers from a central warehouse. Like trucks would run every night to all the cities in the Southwest, our first warehouse, like Houston, San Antonio, out of Dallas, all out of Dallas. And then anybody placed an order about 6 o'clock at night, next morning they'd have in that warehouse, if it was wherever it was in this spoke.
All right, well, I think that's all the questions I have for you.
Well, thank you, darling. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
We'll
Thank
pick this
you.
up back over. Okay.
Thank you. Well, I got to follow all that conversation about me. But I'm mainly interested in PRC. I wouldn't have been here if it had not been for Dobie Holden. Dobie was the guy that picked me as a high school football manager. And the reason I was out there as a freshman trying to play football back right after the war, and these guys could play till they're 25 years old that hadn't been to high school, could continue to go. And he just came to me one day and said, you know, I was 6'3", I believe, and 128 pounds. And he said, I don't believe you're suited for this. So he talked to me about being a manager, which I'd never heard much about. But it was the greatest experience in my life because when we finished high school, he took a job here at PRC as a coach of the football, and he asked me to come along with him. Well, up to then, I probably hadn't given much thought to college because I knew I couldn't afford to go. But the Texas system, sorry, I'm living in that place for too long. Got to come home. But anyhow, the Mississippi Junior College system, I think, is the best community organization in Mississippi. I don't think Mississippi gets credit for it. I don't think they got credit for it 60 years ago. And I think the thing that needs to happen is Mississippians need to be more aware of what they have in Mississippi. Because just think of all the kids that could not go to college and wouldn't have been like me, who probably wouldn't have gone. Because of one guy, I came here to PRC, and I really think it was probably the #1 experience in my life that really helped me become a success in business. Because teaching you to do things right the first time is a major move. It's not easy. And I've seen Dobie run the football team till 11 o'clock at night, and I was taking care of these guys as they passed out. And some of them stayed there till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning because he would make them run this play till they ran it right. Well, if they never ran it right, he'd keep putting substitutes in there till they finally ran through the whole team. And so that kind of made an impression on me. But I got a great work ethic from my dad, who was a little grocery store owner in Mississippi, in Pascagoula. And someone here tonight commented, one of the other inductees, about me going to school out of my area. Well, that area that I should have gone to is Perkinston. But thank God I didn't. I can't tell you how much I appreciate PRC, and I hope to be able to help in any way I can, Doctor. And we look forward to coming back. I got to bring the kids down there to see the campus. I understand it's beautiful, or will be when it's finished. But I have my 2 children, my daughter and my son, and 4 of my 6 grandchildren here. and I'm sure glad y'all came. And thank y'all for everything, and hope to be back to PRC soon.